So we'll start off with the arms for brush knee. So if you have your right hand right in front, so the fingers always be pointing upwards to begin and finish the movement. The thumb knuckle here, this knuckle here, is on the center line. So if you had a line down the very center of your body and that line projected out to where your hand is, intersects that line there. And the arm, just like all Tai Chi movements, extends no more than 70%, so that's 100% extended. So I go to 70%, which is just there, and it just so happens that at that time, I start to feel a bit of a stretch going through the rhomboid area on my back here. So I go as far as I need to for that stretch to start to come. So if you're placing your left hand out in front, I'm doing my right hand, I'm letting the hand turn over. The body starts to turn here, the waist starts to turn. There's a curve in the arm. So I'm not kinked like this, I'm not too bent. There's a natural curve here. And I let that curve come back. Orient the hand a little bit higher than the elbow here. I'm going back to the 45 degrees. I bend that in, so the fingers coming in towards my ear, fingers leading, and then I sit the wrist at the end. And in Tai Chi, sit the wrist is that idea. So the wrist is sitting like that, as opposed to anything like that or hooking, that sort of thing. So sit the wrist is always that meaning there. So I let the arm start to turn over, descends, turn the waist, opening to 45 degrees. About my fingers, top of my fingers here, shoulder height is as high as we need to go. Bending towards the ear, pushing forward with the fingers, and then sit the wrist at the end. And we're finishing with the chest square on. Body opens, arm 45, bend into the ear, push, center line, square on at the front. From the side. So the arm goes back, so I'm going to that 45 degree angle to the back here on both sides when I do the arms. So 45 degrees back. Quite often this move becomes where the person takes the arm right behind their body. We don't want that, and we definitely don't want it out to the side here. So that back 45 degrees is where the arm orients here. And the shoulders dropped. Shoulders drop, elbow dropped. What I mean by that is commonly the arm comes up and it's see how the elbow is higher than my wrist here? It's hard for the shoulder to relax. So as soon as I make the wrist higher than the elbow, or drop the elbow, it makes the shoulder drop and relax too. And if I don't have my shoulder drop and relax, it looks like this. So there's this kink here. I haven't turned my waist. I try to get the arm back, but my shoulder hasn't let it yet. So I let the shoulder relax, and the waist turns, and there's this nice smooth curve through here. So we want that in all these motions. So let's try the other side. So your right hand, my left hand. So hand starts to turn over. A curve in the arm, open the waist. So the tops of your fingers, shoulder height at the back 45. Nice curve in the arm. Not too bent already, not kinked in the shoulder. Shoulder hanging, pulling the fingers towards the ear. Lead with the fingers and sit the wrist. So we're square on at the start, at the end. Start and the end. This knuckle on the center line. Hand turn over, waist turn, opens out, elbows more or less pointing downwards. When you're learning this, it's useful to go over the arms individually like we are until it becomes really familiar. It just looks so simple to do, but there's a lot of ways that this doesn't quite go as planned, and it's usually when we get to this point here, the arm starts to lift without getting this turn over here. So the elbow, so orient here, so the elbow starts to be lower than the wrist. That'll give you the right orientation. and push forward. So this movement here, one of the ideas for application is called underhooks in wrestling. Someone's grabbing onto you, you grab underneath their arms, hook over the top, and it's like it can be a shoulder lock, elbow lock, or just a way of throwing someone too. So this orientation here is to get a really strong underhook around someone's arm, or one of the applications. So the other arm sitting here, so we'll do this side first. So the arm again, 70% extension. So my hand is forward of my leg. So I'm not having my hand behind, on level with my leg even. The wrist part is in front of my thigh here. So I'll go there, fingers point straight ahead, and we're not 100% straight, that's 70% stretch there. So it actually will stretch the trap here too. And about a hand width of your hand from your body. So as I turn my waist, my hand relaxes, arm comes up, body at the 45, and I sit the wrist, and I push down. So I haven't really turned my waist yet. Then I turn my waist and I make this horseshoe kind of shape here. So horseshoe kind of looks like that, like it's the shape of a horseshoe with that kind of a curl. So relax the hand, arm comes up, waist turn, sitting the wrist, so fingers are pointed to the roof, shoulders relaxed, about one hand from the body. Often this gets too close. I push down, so I push out with this edge of my hand here until the arm's got a natural curve here, so I'm not locked out. Then from here I turn the waist and I horseshoe that around to where I just was. So relax the arm come up around as I turn. My body's at the 45 degrees, sit the wrist, fingers to the roof, push that out a little bit so the arm's almost straight, horseshoe around. Do the other side. Just off lock, general sense of sort of pressing, like you're pushing on a spring or gently pushing a ball underwater. That imagery gives the right sensation for the arm and often can make the hand feel like energy wants to pour out of the hands too after a while when you do this. So relax the hand, arm comes up, the waist is turning, sitting hand in front of the chest here, the center of the chest. So my waist is turned, so the center of the chest is here. This hand goes onto the center, fingers to the roof. I'll push that out a little bit, pushing with this part. So I've pushed, but I haven't gone over here yet. I'm still on this side of my body, this side here. Then horseshoe shape, pull that around. So fingers point straight. Very common to, very easy for the fingers to point over this way when you first learn. Fingers are straight. Relax, turn the body, sit the wrist in front of the chest, push out, horseshoe. So we'll put these together. So your right hand, your left hand in front. So as the arm drops here and starts to turn over, this hand relaxes here, starts to shift up, body turns, and we get to this cueing point here, or checkpoint. So we've got that curve here, fingers level with your shoulder, and at that point we've gotten to here with that arm too. So here we bend and straighten the arms. So I bend this one in towards my ear, and I straighten this one, not to totally straight, but I push it out, not locking out, not coming over here, keeping on this side of my body here. Then from here, horseshoe shape, and push, and we're back to where we just were, some square on. So I'll relax the hands, get the body start to turn, both arms moving together. Cueing point here. Bend and straighten the arms. Push forward, horseshoe shape. Relax the wrists, turning over with the palm, looking towards that back hand, looking towards the back hand. So change side. Your left hand, your right hand here. Get confused myself. So the hands relax, starting to turn over, waist turning. Get to this cue point. So both hands finish at this cue point here. Bend and straighten. Both arms go together, as opposed to one then the other. Horseshoe shape. Push. And just check this hand here, fingers point straight ahead, sitting the wrist here. And the wrist is also angled. I haven't mentioned this yet. The wrist is a bit angled. So if you put both your hands together, it's like you're holding a soccer ball, and you got rid of that hand. You want that orientation of the hand in all these pushing movements. So I have a space here. I'm not closing this down space. And when I'm here, I'm not closing this space down here. So the elbow's still got some space, as if you've got a golf ball or egg underneath the armpits. So Toshi always has this idea of an egg or golf ball underneath the armpits. So there's a sense of openness, or ward off is the term used in Tai Chi. So there's a projection of power and roundedness in the arms.